Hello, my name is Mike Pfaff, and this is my YouTube channel, Living in the Illusion. Welcome to my channel. In this video, we're going to be discussing the illusion and depression as a mental health issue. So, there'll be two parts to this video. One of them will be a presentation. And then the other part, second part, will be more around, in-depth around depression. In the presentation, the question at the top is, which side are you on? And there's two sides, and one side is you're unaware that you're in an illusion. And the other side is you know you're in an illusion. And those two things will have a profound effect on how you interface with the world that you have around you. You're in an illusion. You're on side two. So if you are unaware you're in an illusion, you're more likely to believe you are your body, because that's what the illusion tells you. That's what the egoic world tells you. Now, if you are aware you're in an illusion, you know that you're not your body. Now, if you look at these two pictures, they kind of correlate with the understanding. When you are young and healthy, you believe you're your body, and you'll do magnificent things to keep your body trim and slim, or at least handsome and beautiful. If you know you're not your body, you recognize that the body is constantly changing, and it will reach a point when it stops working. And when it stops working, you'll know you're not your body. Now, if you're unaware you're in an illusion, you are what you do and what you have. Your job and your belongings that you have acquired. Now, if you're aware you're in an illusion, you know all you are your memories, and they aren't real. When you're unaware you're in an illusion, you're a victim of the world, and life is challenging and a struggle. When you're aware you're in an illusion, you realize you're the creator of your world, and you can change it. And how magnificent is that? Now, if you're unaware you're in an illusion, you're not responsible for the life you have. It is others that have caused your world to be the way it is. And if you don't like it, you will blame them for all your misfortunes. Now, when you know you're in an illusion, you are responsible for the life you have. Now you see the two halves, a little different way of looking at the world. If you're unaware you're in an illusion, it's not your fault. Whatever the world is, it's not your fault. And you can't fix it. When you know you're in the illusion, your world is your creation. And as such, you can change it. If you're unaware you're in an illusion, your outside world isn't affected by what you think or what you hold inside of you. When you recognize you're in an illusion, you know your outside world is a direct reflection of your inside thoughts and what you hold inside of you. So these are different ways of looking at what's around you. So, a statement. I might have said this before in another video, I'm not sure. The observer affects the observed. Well, who's the observer of their world? Who's you? You're the observer. And how you observe affects what is observed. Now, this is a little strange because we all in the illusion you believe, well, you don't have any control over that. I mean, it's outside of you. You're just observing. Now, it's a funny thing to begin to recognize that how you observe affects what you observe, which means your belief system determines the world you have. Now, this idea is relatively new in the modern era, but in the ancient era of the Upanishads and some Eastern philosophies, this has been well known for centuries, thousands of years. The modern phrase comes from the Copenhagen interpretation of quantum mechanics. And you can go to that website and pick up some more information. And you can go talk to Google, and Google will tell you a lot about how the observer affects the observed. Now, something else to begin to think about. The last suit you wear will not need pockets. When the body stops functioning, it's over for the body. It stays here in the illusion. Ah, but you, what happens to you when the body stops functioning? Might cause you to wonder. Now, in the illusion, when you have depression, okay, depression is defined by its symptoms. The effects in the body. So what are some of these effects in the body? Well, there is a persistent feeling of sadness, as if you're in a gray, flat world with little hope of it getting better. You basically, other people have described it as being in a hole in which you can't get out. You have a tendency to ruminate on the past and why the present isn't working for you. See, depression is about the past, remorse about things that you did or should have done or didn't do in the past. So, you ruminate about the past when you have depression and why the present isn't working for you and why you didn't pick a different significant other, why you didn't get a better job, more education, buy a different house. You get all kinds of remorse about the past, and you ruminate on it, and it causes you to feel sad. You also get sleeping problems. You can't get to sleep, or you get to sleep, and you wake up, and then your mind starts racing, and you can't get back to sleep. Also, an interesting thing with depression, a lot of sleep apnea. A lot of people get sleep apnea that have depression. Before, no sleep apnea. When they develop depression, they had to get the machine, the face mask, the thing around the nose, all kinds of stuff like that. Makes you wonder, which came first, the chicken or the egg? Loss of appetite or other eating issues. Usually, issues around emotional eating, using the chemistry of the food to make you feel better. How the texture, the fragrance, the feelings in the mouth and the body as you eat, as a way of disguising you're depressed. Also, lack of energy, lethargic. Things you used to like to do, you don't have enough energy to do them. Loss of concentration. Your mind just kind of wanders off into different spaces. Problems with self-esteem and self-worth. You question yourself more, and you have no confidence. All because of this mood in the body. Also, a lot of thoughts around not wanting to be here. Well, when you're not here, then you're thinking about being someplace else, and how are you going to get someplace else? Ongoing thoughts of death or suicide. So those are some of the symptoms, the effects in the body of depression. Now, when you get depression, you're going to go sooner or later to a doctor or to a therapist, and he will recommend that you go to a doctor. He almost has to. It's part of the protocol. If you're depressed, you should see a doctor. You go to see the doctor, and he will tell you, or she will tell you, the major contributing factor to the symptoms in the body is a chemical imbalance in the brain. Chemical imbalance, terrible thing. A chemical imbalance in the brain. Therefore, chemical imbalance equals depressive symptoms. And again, you're not sure which came first. So, this brings us to our therapeutic question of this video. What causes a chemical imbalance? What creates the chemistry in the body? Now, this is the end of part one. Now, I'll rearrange my little studio and we'll come back for part two. Welcome back to the second half of the illusion and depression. So now we have symptoms that come up. We feel them in our body. We feel those symptoms. They affect the body. And for them to affect the body, we have an imbalance in our chemistry. Well, what produces the chemistry that we have? There's a bunch of stuff. It's not all just little bitty things, but it is the whole balancing system of the body. How much sunlight you get, how much exercise you get, what kind of food you eat. But the most important thing that is usually not thought of is your thoughts. Every thought you have creates chemistry. Every thought you have in the body creates chemistry. Now, when you're born, nature sets you up pretty good. Not always. There are some problems sometimes. Sets you up pretty good. When you come out of the womb, you're pretty well balanced. Now, we know there are some times when you're not. So, but we're only going to talk about times when you are rather than exceptions. Let's look at the normal things, and then later on, we can look at exceptions. So, normally, we come along pretty good. Ma did her job in her gestation period. The child is going to be pretty good. So the child is balanced. What happens to the child when they get depressed? Maybe in their 20s or 30s or 50s or 60s or 80s. What is going on to make the difference? Every thought you have produces chemistry that affects the body. Now, how does it affect it? It affects it right down to the cellular level. So if you're depressed, your little cells are depressed. They are working very hard to overcome the chemistry that you create inside of you. So, think for a moment. Think for a moment about if your thoughts, since your thoughts produce chemistry, if you are having happy thoughts, what kind of chemistry are you going to be creating? You don't have to be a rocket science. If you're thinking happy thoughts, you're going to produce happy chemistry. Does that sound so unusual? Well, there might be a lot of people that say, "Well, yeah, but I've been addicted to some kind of a chemical. Maybe it's a unusual chemical, like you get off the street or out of whatever you can think of that isn't natural, that isn't good. Well, you're going to have unhappy thoughts. And that's just the way it is. And when you have unhappy thoughts, you're going to have unhappy chemistry. And the unhappy chemistry is going to affect your body in negative ways. Well, you might be saying, well, how can that be? How can that happen? Well, you have recognized that you have control of your life once you know you're in the illusion, and you can do things differently that cause you to have happy thoughts. Or you can ruminate. Now, these are all memories now. Well, that's, by the way, you do recognize that you can only be in the present moment. And if you have unhappy memories that you bring into the present moment, you're going to create negative thoughts. It's going to affect your chemistry. Terrible thing. Cause the body to be chemically out of balance. Sometimes you get anxiety when that happens. Sometimes you get depression when that happens. Depends on what your thoughts are. So, the chemistry in the body is determined by your thoughts. Now, what creates your thoughts? We went through some of that a while ago. Your thoughts are created by your memories. If you had a lot of childhood abuse, if you had a lot of problems in your life, you have a lot of negative memories. Well, how do you change your negative memories? You probably didn't think of that. You probably thought, well, memories just happen. No, if you've been around this channel long enough, you know, because we've done a lot of work on that, you create your memories. Your memories just don't happen. You create them. And if you know you're in the illusion, and this is an unreal place, you can change your memories. When you change your memories, you change your chemistry. You change your chemistry to something different, you can do a lot of good healing in the body. Now, the body responds to the mind. Now, we've known this for a long time. You might not have known it, but we've known it for a long time. It is a principle of the universe. Everything is in balance. Your being chemically out of balance is actually in balance. with the environment around you. Now, there's an old saying, and you probably will have heard of it, as above, so below. As below, so above. As within, so without. As without, so within. Everything is in balance. You're having your chemistry out of balance is in balance with the life that you have. So if you want to change your chemical balance, you got to change how you think. Now, if you're in depression, you can think your way out of it by changing your past and doing a lot of therapy work. But a quicker way to get started is to go to the doctor. And in the beginning, get your chemistry in balance as much as you can. You're not going to get it all from the doctor. He can't do that. He can only do so much with chemistry from the outside. You got to get your chemistry right inside. And how do you do that? Well, by what you think. Now, part of that altogether in what you think is called your attitude. If you have an attitude of gratitude, you're going to do better. If you have an attitude of constant problems, nobody loves you, those all affect your chemistry, and you're going to have problems. So you change your belief system, which are memories created in the past. When you change your memories, negative ones from the past, you change your chemistry. What you hold inside determines what your outside is going to be. As within, so without. So we're going to talk more about how to change what you hold inside of you. And what do you hold inside of you? If you know you're in the illusion, you recognize all you are is your memories. And when you heal your past memories, you change your chemistry. Your body loves you more, and your life gets better. If you hang on to your old memories and ruminate on them, particularly those that are painful, you're going to get a chemical imbalance. And then you'll have trouble sleeping, you'll have trouble with your stomach, you'll have all kinds of things happening to you. So it is, the symptoms will raise their ugly head again unless you change. It's also called healing. When you heal your past, you change your present. If you don't heal your past and you got problems, you're going to keep your problems. Life is so mysterious. So we have a lot to talk about, and I'm not sure how I'm going to edit this thing, but it will be interesting for you to observe. So down below, uh, if it was interesting in any way, hit the like button. And if it wasn't interesting, go to somebody else's channel and hit the not so interesting button. Uh, Also, you can subscribe, which is a wonderful thing for me. So take care of yourself, have fun, and we'll look forward to seeing you next time. Bye now.